Hi everybody, Steven here. Welcome back to the channel. I saw an interesting article the other day on Cosmic Book News on how Kevin Feige and Marvel are going to retcon Shang-Chi and take the movie Shang-Chi and make his comic book counterpart more like the movie. I'm not a big fan of this. Now, I didn't like the movie. It wasn't great. It was blah at best. And I'll be honest, I didn't read the comic book much. But the Mandarin, who actually has the rings, was an early villain of Iron Man. And when the first Iron Man movie came out and it talked about the 10 rings, I got excited. I thought we were going to see the Mandarin, but held off until the third movie, which still wasn't really the Mandarin. And then when they actually did bring the Mandarin in, well, they just destroyed him too. He has rings. 10 rings. 10 rings of power. And the movie decided, in their infinite wisdom, the Feige and the producers, the rings were probably too closely related to the Infinity Stones, so we had to get the rings out of the way, and we're just going to give them some bracelets. Bracelets. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Bracelets. Doesn't really roll off the tongue, but so yeah, they're going to take the bracelets from the movie and give them to Shang-Chi, the comic book, and that's supposed to be his, 10 power rings. Now, whether or not they're going to have separate powers in the comic books, I don't know, but it seemed in the movie the only thing the 10 rings did was just produce energy, which was kind of lame. I mean, it's just every superhero has that, it wasn't it had no connection to the source material. Again, and this is a time where they could actually have connected it to the source material. It was not like they couldn't produce 10 rings and have it do something else. I guess it just seemed easier, and by easier I mean lazy, to just give him 10 bracelets and say, all right, the 10 bracelets just do power things, and, energy beams, and they can be used as a whip. Ooh, and that's it. No, nothing from the comics. Just lazy writing. If you're interested, here are what the 10 rings actually were in the comic books. This is an older version. There's a newer version. I'm not going to use that. But those were the 10 rings. They actually did stuff. And now they're just a generic energy weapon to be used by, whatever. But apparently in Shang-Chi issue number 12, he gets introduced to the rings. The rings. The bracelets instead. I don't know why Marvel just can't separate the MCU and the comic books. If you want to pull from the comic books, fine. But don't take the movies and introduce them into the comic books. The comic books, Marvel Earth 616. And the MCU was Earth 199999. Although now, I just saw when doing some research, one of the producers, I think it was on Spider-Man No Way Home, says the MCU is Earth 616, like the comic books. I guess that's going to make it simpler if you want to pull from the movies into the comic books, because now anyone at Marvel can say, well, look, see, it was in the comic books. See, movies, comic books, movies, comic books. those horrible fanboys who just want everything, like the comic books. Now they can't complain because they can make the comic books like the movies. Like, see, so I'm Marvel can do whatever they want with their properties, but if they want to keep their fans, if they want to keep a fan base, they really need to stop retconning the comic books and making them like the movies. Again, take from the comic books, put them in the movies. That's fine. I know you're not going to be able to do an 100% adaptation from comic book to movie. There's just some things you cannot do even with today's technology. But don't take the movies and move them into the comic books. It's lazy. It's lazy, and I think they're going for lazy, to tell you the truth. I think they just want to do, they want to do the minimum possible so they can put books out, sell them, and then they can just tie them back to the movies, and they just make this whole big. Again, they can do whatever they want. They want to make, they're trying to make money, aren't we all? But you're not going to make much money when you lose your fans and they stop buying the books. The X-Men books aren't selling all that well because you have your affirmative action writers who can't write for squat. You have derivative characters of derivative characters. How many Spider-Man knockoffs do we need? And how many of them have to have their own comic book? Now you're taking characters that aren't all that popular, putting them in a comic book, giving them their own book again, and making that book like the movie, which nobody cared for. The thinking at Marvel boggles my mind. Like I said, I don't have any inside information. I'm not an insider. I'm just a guy who loves Marvel Comics and is looking at it from the outside and seeing them just shoot themselves in the foot over and over again for no apparent reason, except they don't like the fans, or they want their fans to be a certain way, and those fans that they want don't buy the books. The fans that do buy the books aren't going to buy these books. So, Marvel, if you're listening, I doubt you might be. I don't know. Please stop messing with the books. Please stop trying to bring the movies into the comic books. Leave them alone. You're already, one foot in the grave, another on the banana peel when it comes to the comic book industry, and you're just running it into the ground. Stop. So that's all I have to say about that. I will leave a link to the Cosmic Book News article about it down in the links. And if you want to see another video about how poorly Marvel likes to use their legacy characters and how badly they just like to screw things up, check this video out and see how badly they're ruining the X-Men. All right. Thanks a lot, you guys, for watching, and I will see you on the next video.